Good morning, Ordinal Nation. What's up, guys? We are Ordinal Revolution. We host these podcasts every Saturday morning, and this is going to be a great show for you guys today. We are very excited. We have a lot of really, really good speakers, and a lot of the same speakers as always, and it's always an amazing show. We really appreciate everyone who's listening. We're also going to be putting this on our YouTube channel. We are Ordinal Revolution over there. Please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs very quickly, so if you guys can go over there and sub to our channel, that would be amazing and very appreciated. So it's basically on these Saturday morning spaces, we really like to talk to builders, dig in to see who's building, have building conversation. That's what these spaces are all about. Every Saturday morning during the week, Kimi actually gets us these speakers. So I just want to thank Kimi. He does an amazing job. And Yago B really puts in the hosting role today. He always, as always, so that should be fun. But in the morning, I like to just do a quick update of the markets while we wait for everyone to get in here. So we got Ordi sitting back at that number. I'm sorry, no, Sats sitting at the number one role. Has been holding that role for about a month, sitting at 0.00074. And then we have Meme in that number two spot. Wait, no, see, that's the value part. Yeah, we have memes, and actually by volume, that's crazy. Haven't been in the number two spot in a long time, sitting at $32. And then we have Ordi sitting at in that number three spot in volume, sitting at around $5.38. Wow, what a trade Ordi was! If you got into that, it was down to like almost $2. We had Cats sitting in that four spot, sitting at 0.425 sats. Haven't really dug into Cats much. IBTC down 18%, Oshi down 6%, Track down 2%. Track is sitting around 40 cents. So Track is actually up. Track was sitting around 38 cents yesterday all day. 40 cents is a really, really good price, in my opinion. Orpo up 110%, sitting at 9. This thing got all the way down to about 2 cents. Wow, Orpo is ripping it. Orpo is a bridge if nobody knows. And then we got BTCS sitting at 18 cents. This is the Asian community really, really putting together this and that. It's like kind of like a DAO, I'm guessing. It's really cool. We're going to dig into that more on the show. Punk sitting at around $59. We got Mappo. Mappo came out of nowhere again. It was one of those first tokens, one of the first tokens that I bought, I want to say back in June, July. And this thing really, really fell down, and now it's coming back up to about $6.51. See what else we have here. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna jump over to Magic Eden, give you guys a quick what is going on in the NFT side of Ordinals. We have Ordinal Maxi Bid sitting at 0.178, down from 0.2 last week. We have Bitcoin Frog sitting at 0.023, up from about 0.018.
Ribbit.
Hey, what's up, man? 1 second, we'll get to you. And then we got Rare Sats. Take a look at some of the uncommons sitting at 0.0032. And we got the black uncommon sitting at 0.00059. If you want the uncommon, you'll be paying around, I think it's about $109. If you want a black uncommon, you'll be paying around, I think it's around $20. That's a really good deal for that. Jumping back to Magic Eden, we got the Bitcoin Punk sitting at 0.02. Bitmap sitting at 0.0002. I've been buying these, so I'm very, very excited about the price going lower on these guys. Send it lower. If you wanted a 1-digit bitmap, it's about 3 Bitcoin. If you wanted a 2-digit bitmap, you're paying around 0.1 Bitcoin. If you wanted a 3-digit bitmap, you'll be paying around, what is that, 0.015. If you wanted a 4-digit bitmap, you'll be paying around 0.00198. And if you wanted a 5-digit bitmap, you'll be paying around 0.0025, about, I would say about 20% over the floor. Jumping back, we got Genie Data. So Genie Data launched their project this week. OG Pass, I want to say Monday. This thing went all the way down to about 0.05, I want to say. Now it's back up to 0.01. Amazing, because it was a free airdrop. 400 passes, 300 got airdropped, 100 got minted. I think actually might have been 50 got minted by the community, so that was really cool. It's kind of like the only way to invest in Genie Data. That's why I really like it. Sitting at 0.01. Genie Data is going to be special in this Ordinal because they're doing so much. ABC sitting at 0.0036. Then we have Goosenol sitting at 0.001. Wow, Goosenol is really taking a beating lately. Down about, I want to say, from 0.002 last week. Wow, Goosenol's, and the floor is pretty strong here. It's about 8 Goosenol sitting on the floor, if anyone is interested in that. And we got Bit Apes by the Board Yacht Club members sitting at 0.0034. Decentralized Diamonds sitting at 0.0027. And then Osh, another one who's been really getting beat down, sitting at 0.001. This thing was around 0.002 last week. So yeah, a lot of things are down. We got some new stuff. It's been a really interesting week with Bitcoin ripping the way it has. You really don't know what happens to the ordinals, and I guess we're finding out. A lot of stuff goes down against Bitcoin, but then you got your ribbits and stuff like that are flying up. So yeah, so that is your market update. Let me give it to my partner, as always, Mr. Iago B. Good morning, sir.
GM. What's going on, everybody? It's a great Saturday morning. Excited to get this spaces going. And just wanted to say Robin was giving some support to the frogs. That's why he was throwing that ribbit in there. So ribbit back to Robin earlier. Man, we got a great lineup. Thanks to Kimi. Like Shizzy said, I just want to emphasize, like, this guy Kimi, man, he's just so consistent. He's great in the community. He's great at getting these builders together. So with that, if we could, hit that bottom bubble, that chat bubble, and let's share this space so we can get as many people in here as always, so we can try and educate as much as possible, right? That's the whole point of this. So we have a great lineup today. As I said, we got Robin from Liquidium. We got Ordbit. We got the team from Ordbit. We got Ordmint app. We got Ordinal Bob eventually going to come up here. Pixel Quote NFT and ToshiBet is supposed to be up here as well. Some of these builders might show up a little bit later, but man, we got a great lineup, as said. And then we also have Recursive Verse, Jeffrey from Recursive Verse on stage. Thanks for joining us. And I believe Benny will be joining us later, which I think will be great because there's some possible speculation on some things with track. We'll ask him some questions about that. But before we kick it over to the first guest speaker, I want to ask Kimi and Shizzy. I want to ask you guys. We'll start with Kimi. What's your feel of the space lately? What is there anything that you're noticing? That's standing out, or do you feel it's kind of status quo, just building in silence? What do you think?
We see some movements, in my opinion. We see new liquidity coming in, but I don't know. I was watching Magic Eden, some collections, and across other marketplaces, and for the last week, every day one collection being swept. Oh, I'm talking about potential blue chip collections like OMB, frogs, and stuff like that. So I think somebody is accumulating lately hard. So that's from that side. And from the building side, we see regular people keeping the pace with building stuff. Still new stuff coming out every day, and I don't know. I cannot keep track of that anymore. I'm lost. So yeah, now I'm exploring pipe, but I'm lost there. I don't know. That's why I'm glad that Benny will come. I have to ask him something.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was thinking about, when the frogs were one of the big blue chips that stuck out. I saw your post about noticing that people were sweeping the frogs, or like maybe it wasn't multiple people, maybe it was one or two. But this is pretty recent that the kind of institutional interest of Unbroken Chain, Liquid Trading Fund has come into the space. So that could have possibly been somebody from there. This is speculation, but this is a good sign when Bitcoin goes up that people are trying to, sweep some of these blue chips, and we'll see kind of where that goes. Shizzy, what do you think? Same question.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry to continue to that example about frogs. It was the same person for sure, because in 2 wallets they have 4 same collections and 50 of them. I don't know, bear club, something like that, frogs and stuff like that. And he has in both wallets 50 of frogs, 50 of that bear cubs and stuff like that. So it's pretty much the same person.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you can see definitely from the addresses. That's the great thing about the blockchain. You can see the wallet addresses there. So, Shizzy, same question. What do you think?
So the frogs thing's kind of scared me this week, because it went up so quickly and so fast, and it just showed me that, like, you don't have a lot of time to accumulate anymore. Like, the time is really coming to an end of accumulation. I'm really going to see prices just start jacking up like that. So for me, I actually got some FOMO. I don't have enough, guys. Like, I don't have enough. I was looking at bitmaps, and it's just like, do I feel comfortable with my bag now? I don't. I feel like I need to just really start accumulating. And for me, I kind of want prices to go down. I want another couple months of accumulating for me to be able to feel comfortable with my bags. I'm getting scared, guys. I'm getting scared.
Exactly. I want to say that since the beginning of the year, I have that feeling that I'm missing out. I don't know. Every day, missing out on learning new stuff and missing out of accumulating. So it's weird. I don't know. Usually it's a bad feeling, but in the same time it's a good feeling, because I'm happy to see how space is evolving. So it's a good thing for sure.
Well, I wasn't experiencing FOMO up until just now. So thanks, guys. I felt like I was in a pretty good space. So now I'm going to go and rush over to Magic Eden and buy up a bunch of stuff. No. But yeah, good insight. Great insight. You know, I do kind of have a similar feeling to where, you know, certain blue chips are, you know, getting targeted in terms of people wanting to make sure that they have their target goals of acquiring what they wanted before things kind of start to get up into that next level. But we'll keep watching the space, and you know, I think if you're involved in the space each and every day, like most of us in here, then you'll be okay, right? That's it takes dedication. It's not just some you know, jumping in sometimes and trying to figure out what's working, what's not. But awesome. Well, I appreciate that from both. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Yeah, and it's a good time to start looking and be here every day. So it's not that it's peak and new people usually come at the top. So whoever starts accumulating now, I think it will be fine in 2 years.
Absolutely. And if you were here whenever it was really slow, there's no point in leaving now whenever things get busier, right? So, yeah, appreciate that. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with Robin. What's going on, brother? It's been a little bit since we've talked, but I know you've been busy. You were at Inscribed Amsterdam, so I want to get your insight on that. And then also, I noticed like when the Goosenals kind of started to pop off, you guys got some loans going with that. So I want to see what that experience has been like. So yeah, the stage is yours. If you can kind of update the community and just give us the breakdown.
GM, yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, definitely a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. It always, like, a week in the ordinal space feels like a month, honestly, because every time, like, so much is happening. But yeah, Inscribing Amsterdam, Bitcoin Amsterdam, and then also Bitcoin Unleashed in London were great events. I got so much alpha from other people that are building in the space, and then also investors who are really deploying big capital in ordinals and in ordinal infrastructure. So there's definitely so much that is about to come to the space. So I'm really excited about that. And then also we had a really good last couple of weeks with Liquidium. Actually, this week we are like about to reach $100,000 in volume on Liquidium, which is really exciting. We've been like building so much. We have been building since 1.5 years now. Since February, we have been building on Ordinals, and finally seeing the traction coming in and the people using the platform and actually achieving some goals with the platform is super dope. So we also posted some kind of user stories. For example, we have one guy who is like a massive borrower at this point. Like he always he basically borrows against every ordinal he has, and then he buys more. And he was able to afford an OMB now and was able to repay his loans with some additional gains he made. And now he has an OMB. He wears it as his profile picture. And this is so cool to see that people kind of like can use the platform to make something happen that they want. Yeah, so all of this is great. And with Goosenals, yeah, Goosenals was definitely something that kind of helped us pick up traction in the space. Like we basically listed Goosenals from day one when the hype was going on, and then people were people were borrowing against their Goosenals. And actually, the strategies that the borrowers did was really good. And I am the one who is down bad because of this. Because I thought like, okay, cool. I'm just going to be a lender and I can earn some interest. And if the people default, I will get their Goosenals. That's cool. So I was actually putting out offers at like 90% loan to value ratio. And now I got burned hard because the floor price tanked and the borrowers just didn't repay their loans. And now I'm stuck with their Goosenals. And they basically successfully hedged their positions. But I think it's cool because, like, obviously, I'm just playing around a little bit, testing some strategies, and the borrowers actually got use from it because they just borrowed to essentially hedge their positions in case of like downward risk. And I'm happy to have some more Goosenals at this point because maybe, who knows, maybe we get some more honks in the space. But yeah, that's kind of what's up right now. Currently, the platform is down for like over the weekend for maintenance because we are fixing some minor security things and then also adding some more features. But yeah, that's kind of what's up in the Liquidium world, and I can also share some more alpha about like where investors are coming in and stuff like that if you want to hear about that.
Of course.
I was gonna say yeah, for sure, but yeah, I want you to definitely get to that. But before that, with the Goosenals situation, so we all saw that. I think you were offering at the time was 0.0018. So with that being said, you're saying do you look at that as kind of a loss already in your books, or do you feel like what's the business model behind that? In your mind, are you like, okay, these Goosenals have some momentum, that's why we even offered it, so there's a chance for this to bounce back? Is that your thought process?
Oh yeah, this is a good question. So by I was the lender, I don't mean the platform was the lender, but like Robin, I myself, like I was the lender personally. Liquidium is totally peer-to-peer, which means you always have one person offering a loan and then somebody else, so another person can pick up this loan. And we as a platform basically just provide the infrastructure that we can connect lenders and borrowers. And I personally made the stupid decision, or like I didn't plan the risk, evaluate the risk or whatever, and just made like really high offers in basically a extreme explosion of price and extreme volatility, which is also like definitely not what you should do. So this is not financial advice. And we as a platform, we only collect a fee essentially, or we as a platform only get money if the loan was successfully repaid. So as a platform, we kind of incentivize the people to repay their loans to some degree, because we don't want to make platform in case of a default. For me personally, it was kind of a loss because now I basically like lent out 0.0018 Bitcoin for like 2 Goosenals, and both of these loans got defaulted because obviously the price went down and there was no financial incentive for the borrower to repay. So for me personally, this was a lesson, and now in the future I will make sure for like high volatility collections I will probably offer some lower loan to value ratio, but it's a gamble. Like it's basically as buying and selling ordinals. Like you never know if the price goes up or goes down. As a borrower, it's pretty cool because you can kind of hedge your position and you can say like, hey, if there is a high loan to value ratio offer, I can take it, and in case the price plummets, then I can like kind of hedge my position to the downside. And as a lender, it's always like, okay, you have to be aware of the risk, of course. And I was aware of the risk. Like I knew, okay, if the price goes down, I will get 2 more goose notes. For me, it was like, okay, it's not a lot of money and I like goose notes, so I don't have a problem with people defaulting on me and me getting some more goose notes. But yeah, as a platform, like we want to give everybody the chance to do whatever they want. Like obviously limiting some risk factors, like you can't create an offer of more than 99% of the floor price, and then also we are going to warn you if the loan to value ratio is really high. So we want our users to kind of act responsibly, but at the same time we want to offer this feature for all collections, at least for all collections where like the floor price is not like $5 or something, but like as soon as it makes sense, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, this is kind of like Liquidium is free, is open to all collections, and then lenders and borrowers can do whatever they want. But we are telling you, like, do your own research. This is no financial advice, but if it works for your personal strategy, then it's cool. I'm a lender. I'm heavily lending on Liquidium right now. And I mean, I had 2 defaults on the goose notes, but I had other loans where they were like much higher value. And I created, like, essentially, I generated more interest at this point than I lost with 2 goose note defaults. So all in all, even for me, it's kind of a good strategy at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's cool that you were, putting, creating that opportunity for a new project that was building momentum. And I have a feeling that, you'll be able to at least get close to break even on that, because there is a community behind it, and we'll see what happens with that. Shizzy, you had your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, I actually didn't think of Liquidium as a way to hedge, and thinking of it like that. So if I have a bunch of goosenals and I'm like, hey, like I if these go under 0.0018 and I kind of want to sell them, and you can take a loan against them. Say they're sitting at 0.0025, and put your loan value at 0.0018. So if it hits that, potentially it's the default. So it's kind of your way to really say, without putting it, because there's no way to put it on Magic Eden for, hey, if it hits this price, I want it to be gone. But because it's going to sell right away because it's under floor. So it's actually a really awesome way to hedge. I didn't think of Liquidium as that.
Yeah, this is really interesting, and actually I didn't think about this either back when we created this platform. But some of these strategies are now evolving. Like people are now actually using the platform and they are creating some of these strategies, and this is really interesting. Like I saw a tweet of a user who was posting that, like, okay, he borrowed against a bunch of ordinals for hedging purposes, and then I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. Like this is actually really cool. And I also had something like, sometimes it's also kind of like an adrenaline rush when you see, like, if you are the lender and you put up like a really high loan to value ratio or something, and then sometimes the floor price plummets, and then you see like, oh, now I have lent more than the ordinal is actually worth, and then the price goes back up and you're like, ooh, phew. now the borrower will repay again. Or if the borrower doesn't repay, like I have the ordinal and it's worth more than what I lent, which is also a cool deal. But yeah, there's always the risk as a lender to like get the ordinal instead of the Bitcoin back. But I think it's definitely interesting, like what kind of strategies the people are using it for.
Yeah, that's awesome. It becomes gamified at that point. It's really cool.
Yeah. I kind of saw that a couple of people were doing that, strategizing against the goose nulls. So definitely something I'm going to dive into as well. All right, so let's get to the alpha. But before that, if there's anybody out there in the audience and you want to ask a question, just request to be up on stage. We'll get you up here. Today could be if you've never asked a question before, today will be your first day. Just come up here and ask any questions you want to ask. So okay, let's get to the good part. Let's get to the alpha. So where are the minds of investors currently with your platform? You can kind of see, and then also what information you gathered from Inscribe Amsterdam and Bitcoin Amsterdam.
Yeah, sure. So obviously lots of builders in the space that are working on fantastic stuff. I think one of the most interesting things that I've heard at Bitcoin Amsterdam is definitely BitVM. I know there has been a lot of buzz around it on social media or Twitter. And I think BitVM is really, really promising. And we are already testing with it and kind of seeing if we can use it to some degree for Liquidium, because it essentially allows you to create smart contracts on a ZK rollup on Bitcoin. And therefore, it would allow for even more programmability than we have opportunities with DLCs. DLCs are great for our use case because DLCs are essentially non-custodial Bitcoin escrows that can only send the funds to whoever created the DLC. So it's perfect for our use case for storing the ordinal during a loan. But you can't do stuff like peer-to-pool or liquidity pools in general, and more complex things for example, selling your active loan while the loan is going on and stuff like that. You would have to make it more trusted if you want to build it entirely on Bitcoin, and BitVM would be a solution where it wouldn't make Bitcoin much more programmable, but it would still be trustless. So this is really cool. And then in terms of investors, so there is one new fund that kind of Bitcoin Magazine / UTXO management, they helped to incubate the fund. And then there's also Isabel, who is from the Ordinal's core team, and then Domo Data. So Domo, the creator of BRC20, they put together this fund, which essentially will invest in Ordinal infrastructure companies. This is one part of their strategy. And then actually another part is investing in ordinals. They bought a Bitcoin rock for 2.5 Bitcoin, which is actually quite a good deal if you look at the current floor price of 4.5 Bitcoin. And then they also invest in other ordinal collections, which is really bullish, having an institutional investor investing in all of these ordinals. And then also they are basically putting money as a liquidity provider on lending platforms, namely Liquidium, and they want to be lenders and provide liquidity for Bitcoin rocks, for OMBs, for DGOTs, and so on, which is really fucking bullish because this will bring in so much liquidity in the market. So yeah, that's kind of the alpha here.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think you're speaking about specifically Unbroken Chain Fund, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that they were, investing in infrastructure companies and then providing the liquidity. I thought they were just really kind of trading and buying ordinals and holding. So that's definitely a different layer of support, like you said. So I think that I'm very, very even more bullish on that.
Yeah, just to explain the relation kind of, so UTXO management is essentially the same fund as the Bitcoin Magazine fund. So Bitcoin Magazine is kind of one of the biggest Bitcoin brands in the space. Their official company name is BTC Inc. and they hosted Amsterdam, they hosted Bitcoin Miami, they host all of the big Bitcoin events, and they also set up the Bitcoin Magazine Fund / UTXO Management Fund, and now they are one of the biggest investors in Unbroken Chain. So Bitcoin Magazine is really heavily investing into ordinals now and making ordinals a big thing on Bitcoin. And I think this is really bullish. Bitcoin Magazine is also an investor in Liquidium, in our pre-seed round. So it's in the market, the builders in the market, and then also ordinals in general. And I think you could also really tell the vibe in Amsterdam, where I would say probably 60% of the people that were in Amsterdam at the Bitcoin conference, they didn't know about ordinals, surprisingly. But and we had a booth in Amsterdam, and a lot of people came to us and they said oh yeah, but what is even ordinals? And then I think a lot of this happened in Amsterdam. It's just explaining the Bitcoin people what ordinals is, and most of the people thought it was really cool, actually. And then on day 2, a lot of people came to us and they said oh, I just learned about ordinals yesterday, this is so cool. And I'm oh yeah, nice, we need more of these events, we need to adopt more or bring more people onto ordinals, and Bitcoin Magazine is doing a fantastic job at that. So yeah, really bullish on them and what they are doing with their fund as well.
100%. I think Bitcoin Magazine is one of the main things that keeps me bullish on ordinals, just because they support ordinals so much. They love the innovation of it, and they're a huge media. They're the biggest media outlet when it comes to Bitcoin, right? So, but it also kind of shows me on the other side that a lot of these Bitcoiners, I don't know if I want to call them laser eyes, because I kind of want to start to get away from that. Just labeling so much with that. But I feel like the traditional Bitcoiner stays really hyper focused and tunnel vision with it. And that's probably why a lot of them at that convention, 60%, didn't know about ordinals. But man, that's great work that you guys are doing, educating them on it, because it seems like a good amount of them are open-minded enough, because it is connected directly to Bitcoin. They don't have to leave Bitcoin to be able to purchase these ordinals or at layer 1 assets here. So amazing. For Robin, before we jump over, I want to jump over to Benny because he's driving. We got a couple questions for him, but any last questions for Robin?
Yeah, I want to ask, Robin, did you start it like that with some fund and fund investments from fund, or how did you start your company? Right.
Yeah, so we had our we still have our pre-seed round going on. So we just decided to extend it a little bit. But yeah, obviously, it is a really good help, or it's kind of necessary, I think, if you build a tech company where you need the funds to pay employees, to pay people, to build whatever you want, because usually it takes a lot of time to become profitable as a company. So and also we as a platform, we need to generate millions in dollars of volume to become profitable at some point. So it's you are investing, you are strategically looking for investors that have the same goal as you do. We don't want to take any investors where we kind of disagree with them. But for example, Bitcoin Magazine or Actai Ventures or Bitcoin Frontier Fund, these are investors where I feel like they are supporting us heavily. So we are happy to take funds from them. And then also they have the same mission. So we are not influenced by them. We are still independent. We can build whatever we want. But yeah, having the funds is necessary to scale the company and to build a product like we do. Unless, of course, you have a lot of funds to self-fund the company. But in our case, we were kind of reliant on external investors. So it's cool to see that so many people are interested in the ordinal space and are investing in companies like ours. So really bullish on that. And then also I wanted to drop one more alpha. I think it kind of went through social media a little bit, but Edward Snowden was on the Bitcoin conference as well in Amsterdam. And he actually talked about ordinals, and he thought it was great because it's like this decentralized immutable storage. So that's also fucking bullish.
Yeah, bullish indeed. You know, it probably hit home with him specifically, right? Because he everybody knows the situation that has researched him, and Ordinals definitely could have assisted him in getting information out there without doxing himself. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, awesome. One last question before I pop over to Benny, but so I see some of these projects that are either data projects like Genie Data, or that don't have a token, and they're taking this OG pass route. Is Liquidium thinking of doing anything like that? Because some people might want to have exposure to Liquidium in that type of way, but there's I don't know if there's anything like that. But is there anything planned for you guys with that?
Yeah, so we are obviously thinking about it. Like there are different ways how you can essentially make the community be able to invest in the growth of Liquidium. I think some sort of pass is a really good way for that. Then also you can have things like a token, of course. We could use a token, for example, to also incentivize the people on the platform. Like, for example, you could farm tokens essentially by borrowing and lending. Like, I think there are some really, really cool incentive strategies with tokens that are possible. And then also, obviously, another one would be to just like build a really nice ordinal collection with like cool art. So I think these three possibilities are definitely something we consider to kind of let the community engage in the growth of Liquidium as well. Right now, we are kind of hesitant with it because obviously we are a company that has sometimes it's difficult with token launches because it can easily be flagged as a unregistered security, and then we are kind of fucked as a company. And yeah, we definitely have to be compliant all the time, especially as a lending platform. But yeah, we're looking into it, and if there is some alpha to share, I will definitely share it with you.
Awesome. All right, go ahead, Shizzy.
Yeah, just some like my advice: don't go the token route. I don't think you guys should do that. I think you guys should do the route that Genie Data is taking, and then kind of put out a ordinal type of pass, because now Genie Data has just an ordinal they put out, nothing crazy, but it's also a way to invest in them by owning this ordinal, and you guys can borrow against it. So I think you guys should go the route of the Genie Data and do the pass, as you would say, because it's on that fine line of what it is, and it's not a token, but it's another way for us degens to invest in you guys without actually going the token route, and pull some cool art on there, pop that thing on Magic Eden or whatever, and I just love that idea.
Can also jump on a one-on-one to discuss some of these things, because I always love to like hear what people have to say. So if you have any cool ideas what we could do as a community project, then happy to listen to you.
I would love that. Me and Yago, we actually do calls a lot. So if you do, we'd love to hop on there, because I don't know. I think I have some good ideas, but sometimes they're shit. So just take them for granted.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Robin. Liquidium doing some big things in the space, educating, building, lending, all that great stuff. So keep your eye on that. Okay, let's pass it over to Benny. I know you're driving, sir, and I know you don't have a bunch of time. So if you could update the space. I know you got tons going on with your, you partnered with, I believe, Skyra, or they're helping you gain some funding. Also, the Pipe protocol is partnering with Bison Labs, and then you have TAP as well with Blockamoto. Bunch of stuff going on. I don't know how you do it, but if you could just kind of break down what's going on with Track and TAP and Pipe lately.
All right, thanks, and hi everyone. Really happy to be here again. This Saturday space is awesome. Keep that up. So yeah, you said it. There's a lot going on, and we'll try to address some updates here. And in the end, probably a not so good news in the short term for the current development state of Ordinals, but good news in terms that I believe if this is tackled, then we are much closer to Ordinals wallet maturity. So well, let's start with TAP protocol. So there's basically a lot of development and planning and strategies going on behind quote-unquote scenes, although I don't like really that term. But at some point you basically need to get sit back and do your homework and plan out things, because you need to work out everything straight before you get out with it. So that's actually what's going to happen. There will be coming a lot of protocol updates, and I hope to have then that done alongside with the planned governance. Yeah, either the governance happens before or shortly after that upgrade. We have to see that. But that was promised that this is gonna happen. So there's a lot going on also in regards to bitmap, but also in other areas, because just recently it has been revealed. You can see that outlined on the TAP protocol Twitter, that it says it's a multi-asset protocol. So that was actually my idea from the beginning. But the first use case for the protocol happened to be tokens. Yeah. So the second is, of course, Pipe. Has nothing to do with Ordinals per se, although it's coming from basically from the same spot, same point. There is actually a ton going on. The guys from Scrap.land now in SPIP. They created the first browser wallet. Right now it's on review on Google, but you can already install it and use it. Yeah, and there was just recently the unicorn auction. We had a lot of fun in the Track Discord, where people then basically valued the very first collection that happened on Pipe, and a lot of more stuff is going on, especially these Rune Rocks, which is a community project that it was insane, or is still insane. I mean, people are going nuts over it, me included. I'm very bullish on that because the art is dope. So, and yeah, and on top of that, got invites to Chinese communities on WeChat. I just heard about that recently. And as for Bison, there is the news that they basically shifted from BRC20 for now away onto Pipe, to supporting at first. And it's not actually like, like a partnership. I was basically also, like anyone else, confronted with that change in that BTC Ordinance Lab space, where they announced that move. And of course, I support every builder's decision, right? And with Pipe, I'm of course biased too, so would be nuts not to support that, but I can't. If there is that there is from track itself, for example, stepping back on meta protocols and ordinals. This is simply not what's going to happen. Actually, quite the opposite. It's just that there is another potential ecosystem that emerged from track. So that's all. Okay. So the then we're coming to the bad news. I already feel like I'm already like on a weekly basis posting bad news. Last time it was about that bug in earlier Ordinals wallet versions that caused an offset in inscription numbers, which has been fixed. Not fixed, but which has been decided which version holds the truth. It's currently version 0.10. And okay, when this version came out, I was basically forced, like many others, right, to upgrade to that version, because 0.9 I previously had quarantined to see how it develops, but in this case the strategy wasn't right. So rather the old version that I thought was stable, more stable, wasn't. So long story short, I started then to reindex everything. I noticed that suddenly it looked like because I was reindexing all BRC20s and TAP protocol tokens, and I noticed that things got slowed down when it came to indexing, like 10x. It took like an insanely amount of time. So what usually indexing, for example, TAP protocol tokens would have done in a few hours, took actually 4 days. So that got me a little bit concerned. So I was checking further. And so the root cause of this problem is basically that when these settlements happened, some entity decided then to basically send all these let's call it garbage ordinals to some, I assume, exchange, and that exchange then basically consumed these all, put them all into one single UTXO, 270 BTC big. There are more of that. It's just one example, and they keep it being in that one single UTXO, and then it happens that thousands or hundreds of thousands of these mint inscriptions, more or less, are being tracked by the Ord wallet. So, and every time that, I assume, exchange decides to move a little bit of these sats, right? It creates, of course, a change address back, to itself, and every time that happens, the Ord wallet reallocates basically the set locations for these spent ordinals. So, and right now, these are not like transactions. These are like, I call these events. Yeah, these are basically set location updates. And right now we are having 2 million of these approximately every day. So it's similar to like you'd have 2 million transactions a day. Yeah, so from an indexing point of view. So, and moving forward, this actually means that we're having a scaling issue there. That means that at some point, the Ord wallet itself will have an issue with indexing. That happens already if you happen to have a machine that's running, I don't know, on 4 to 6 cores, right? So standard stuff and 8 gigabytes of RAM, it doesn't cut it anymore, right? So you really need some beefy machine. I was comparing that. Really need some beefy machine to have even a chance to index, right? So for now, this affects mostly builders that index their stuff, right? That affects more or less all BRC20 stuff. So across the board, it's like ordinals. It's affecting ordinals. So, and if that keeps going on over time, this growth will be even more. The exponential growth rate will even accelerate, and at some point, even beefy machines won't cut it. Luckily enough, shortly before I entered here that space, somebody from the core team acknowledged that this is an issue. So that's where we enter the good news. There is awareness now. There's no need to panic or stuff like that. It's just, the good news is now that it's going to be addressed. I'm pretty sure it will be addressed. And the good news is that we are, when this is solved, in my opinion, from what I can see, we should be then slowly entering maturity of the Ordinals wallet and thus indexing. But nevertheless, it's a scaling issue that needs to be addressed. Especially builders need to be aware of that, because I saw already a couple of explorers and marketplaces. I'm not sure if due to that, but it coincided basically with them being these assessments that the ownerships weren't right anymore. So my assumption is there is already an issue for some. Yeah. So I can name some where it works. It's basically the track BRC20 tab indexing. Uniset BRC20 indexing works. I don't know about ordinals themselves. I mean collectibles. And Ordinals wallet. So with those few I checked, I know that these are definitely working. So, and if you, and this is addressed to builders, if you are indexing yourself, yeah, stuff, and you didn't do updates, upgrades in recent times, I urge you to check that out. Yeah. Anyway, you need to upgrade to 0.10. And while you're doing that, make sure that your machines, your metal, basically, is able to index your Ordinals wallet. And also, if you do indexing, that your custom indexing code is capable of dealing with that load of data. Yeah. So for actual users, in my opinion, it's nothing to be like scared of. But this it's not going to blow in their faces out of a sudden, and they are prepared for that. Okay, so that basically sums it up. If you have questions, just let me know.
Yeah, I have from user point of view, which indexers are best to look at in those times? Who updates everything fast, in your opinion? And
the problem is I cannot tell you which one is fine in a sense of will be working out fine. The problem with exponential growth is it's a thing in computer science, right? The complexity is measured in big O notation, and when you have a big O notation of n squared, right, you have an issue. Not always, but in this case, you definitely have an issue. So that means right now, at this moment, everything could be fine on track, on Uniset, on Ordinals wallet, right? And tomorrow, that's it. They cannot keep up anymore because practically saying an indexer usually goes through all the blocks, all the transactions, and if there is so many being shifted around, right, it can happen that these indexes won't ever catch up, with the latest, right? And at some point, well, you can only have so much disk space, right? So depending what your indexer stores, you're reaching, you can easily reach already. I think I have a case where there's 170 gigabytes already. Yeah, I think it's just for BRC20. Because I'm storing a lot, right? But it's still unusual. So depending what you are indexing, you can also easily run out of disk space. So it's not just a performance issue; it's also an issue, or can become an issue depending how your custom indexing code works, what it stores, and how much it stores, right? So right now, the named projects that index this stuff, that would be track BRC20 and tab, Uniset BRC20 and Ordinals wallet, across the board on Ordinals wallet is definitely okay. If you find places where the ownerships differ or they have weird behavior in the Ordinals history, for example, suddenly an Ordinal has a history of thousands of ownership changes, right, in its history, then you know something is wrong. So if you want, if you have the time, you can compare the different projects that index, right, and compare them with each other. and see where the ownership, which ones have ownership issues, right? I cannot check every single once that out there, but when I was listening to the Goosenot stuff, I assume they have their own indexes, right? So if I would be from the Goosenot project, I would at least check that out, yeah, in my end, right? If everything is like stable there, right? So it affects basically for now builders, just to make sure everything is safe, and then let the OR team just find a solution for that. Point is just this: we are not in the bull market yet, and if that happens, and there was this recent talk about VCs entering the scene, right, investors and stuff, and things really blow up for ordinals, then would be really good to have that tackled. Yeah, that's all I can basically say about that. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you started with the bad news and then you finished with the solution, good news, because I think this is why it's really important to have multiple indexers, and you're always on top of it. And it seems like you bring it to the org team's attention, which is great. And this is stuff that we're just going to have to go through, the bumps and bruises, right? But getting it fixed is important. Go ahead, Shizzy.
Yeah, question for Benny. Was this an attack by someone, or is it like what?
No. That was definitely that was an unforeseen consequence. So there was no attack. Using this or exploiting that as an attack would cost significant money. So whoever that entity was, that was basically spending these ordinals or the sats assigned to these ordinals, right? They of course you want your money back, right? So whoever that was basically paying a ton to mint these, right? And there's still potentially a good amount of cash to return there, right? That's all that happens, right? So that wasn't an attack, but it has, of course, an attack-like feel to it. But I can rule out that was an attack. And if you would want to exploit that, you would take an enormous amount of money. You would need to take enormous amount of money in your hands to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the PSA for sure. So builders, just keep an eye out on this indexing issue. It seems to be that they have a solution for it. Like Benny said, don't freak out, but be aware. One last question for you, Benny. It's not on this topic. It's something that I saw from a post, and it's speculative, of course, but someone had mentioned, track possibly being utilized as a gas/fee token for your ecosystems. Is that something you're seriously considering, or is it just kind of talk?
I do not really like the term gas token because, in my opinion, a gas token should be a native asset like sats, right? But that being said, I could imagine track playing a role within the ecosystem set, and that makes sense, yeah. Within the ecosystems that derive from that. So ideally, that would be something where let's call it fees, right? Things are done. Certain things are done in terms of fees, like so everybody knows it's fees. What in particular this would be, I have outlined already for the track ecosystem itself. That's going to happen, yeah, because that's a thing too. It's probably not on everybody's screen right now because of everything what happens. But there will relatively soon something coming from track itself, and there already track token will play a significant role. Yeah. Using that as gas token itself, as I said, I just don't like the term. Yeah. So because I mean, like practically, so you're paying your transaction fees in sats already, right? Which is network, which is the network asset, and then you're supposed to pay additional gas with a token, right? That's not a network asset, right? Makes, in my opinion, no sense, but I have an idea for that. But I don't want to spill the beans too early because I really need to research on that, where all this can be settled within the track network without being a chain that can be used as an actual network asset. So, but don't overvalue that yet. But that's a way where I could say, all right, that's cool. If track itself works as a network asset, then it's a different story. Then it could be something like gas. But I really need to flesh that out before there is anything basically announced in that regard. But we're going in a direction like this. Hope that answers it.
Yeah, perfect. You gave me clarity on that post, so I appreciate it. Okay, Benny. Well, we appreciate you. We know you're driving and you're busy, so we appreciate the information that you gave us, and we'll definitely keep our eyes open and be aware of the situation. Okay, so I want to move over to Orbit because we are we're on a schedule here. Orbit, you are the platform that Dot Friends launched on. You do multiple things besides that. But I wanted to kind of hear what the update is on your side with Dot Friends, and then what you guys got going as a platform overall.
Hey, GM. Hello, everyone. There was a pretty good insight by Robin from Liquidium. Pretty good investment strategies and stuff that he learned in Amsterdam. Thank you for sharing all that with us. Kimi, thank you for having us on board. You're always there, pretty active in the community. So, as far as Orbit as a platform is concerned, yes, like you rightly said, we were the ones who actually started with the Dot Friends protocol with Dogfather, and we're currently building more products on top of Bitcoin. So we're primarily focused on building products on top of Bitcoin, right? It can range from a variety of products that we already have, like a live inscription service. We have a launchpad for all the products to launch the Ordinals collections, and we have the Friends protocol. We have the social graph on top of Friends protocol called the Friends Verse. That is also pretty active and a, a visual treat for everyone. All of you all should just go and check that out as well. And we just recently launched our sub 100 and OG passes for the Dot Friends. An opportunity to have one of these that we are providing a lot of benefits with these passes. Some of them being like if you own like an OG Dot Friends pass, so all the future products that are built on top of Bitcoin on Orbit, by Orbit, I mean, right? So you will have the early access to all those products, probably be a part of the beta testing as well. And so one of the products that is in the pipeline is the first play to earn on Bitcoin by playing. And it's a pretty interesting concept, and it will be live soon. So one of the benefits to avail these or grab these OG and sub 100 passes will be the early access to first ever play to earn, right? And as you know, like you must have seen the design. It's like a state of the art 3D design. You'll have your friend's ID and friend's number engraved on those OG passes, right? So they'll be like customized to your taste, and you'll have the friend's ID and friend's numbers inscribed on it. And like Robin rightly pointed out, that IRL events is the key for Ordinals and Bitcoin space to just grab all the attention and educate people about the entire space. So we're starting a series of IRL events across the globe, right? we might be there in Amsterdam soon, but we're starting with the India Blockchain Week first. Word with you later about that as well. So these past any products that are built on Bitcoin through Ordbit, we will be basically showcasing all of them all across the globe and getting all the people with similar interests together and all the builders together. I mean, that's the entire concept that we want to take ahead, right? And so yeah, so about the play to earn game that is going to come, we will start with the beta testing next week, and we just dropped a couple of these sub 100 and OG passes since like 2-3 days. And yesterday also, I think Kimi, you were also part of that space, so we just airdropped one to one of the live participants, and we would like to do that today as well, like after the space ends. So one lucky winner today will get one of the OG dot friends passes as well. So that is something that is what's going on from our side. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank-
Go ahead.
Thanks.
Go ahead,
I wanted to ask about that sub 100. Do we need to inscribe them or it will be airdrop? I didn't catch that.
Kimi, you're not audible. Can you come again?
For sub 100 friends pass, do we need to inscribe them by ourselves or it will be airdropped to first?
So for now, we want to take the airdrop route. So we will be giving out airdrops to as many people as possible. We have planned like a series of events and activities that we want our community to do. So after all those are complete, then we shall proceed with more airdrops, and we have like a limited supply for these airdrops as well. So every activity will constitute a free airdrops to the community. But after the airdrops are done, we will announce one mint date. It will be a completely free mint. It'll be open for like, I mean, more details on the mint will be announced soon. But we would have like a free mint later on after the airdrop process is complete. Yeah.
Awesome. So with these OG passes, you mentioned that you'll have access to all the IRL events. What do you mean by that? Do you mean by like the Ordbit like events at these events, or like the actual like entry to the events?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. So when we talk about the IRL events, so what I primarily mean is that we are scheduling some conferences and probably these meets all across the globe to basically get all the ordinals and Bitcoin people together and in general just raise awareness and get all the good devs and builders and the investors also in the space have like kind of a pretty chill vibe and people just exploring possibilities with each other. So such events, this pass will be your ticket. Like you don't have to basically pay anything for the entry, and perhaps we can get your stay sorted as well in whatever part of the globe we're having the event at.
Yeah, that's an awesome incentive, definitely, because I think that these IRL events are for ordinals are just going to continue to grow as ordinals. More and more people learn about ordinals and the value of L1 assets on Bitcoin.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just stating that fact. Did you have anything else?
I mean, there's a lot more we can talk about, but I think you guys have a time constraint, so we just keep it restricted to the OG passes and all this information. And yeah, we will have one airdrop to one of the winners from this space. We shall just announce it right after the space, right?
Yeah,
So that
perfect.
is something
Kimi,
that-
are you going to run a raffle after the space?
Okay, but how can I do it without? I don't know. People have to at least like this page, go to that blue bubble down and like the space and retweet it, so I have something to catch on.
Okay, so make sure you retweet the space to enter that raffle is what Kimmy's basically saying. So afterwards, we'll do a raffle and pick a winner, which is the OG pass, which Orbit just explained. Great benefits to that pass. So definitely, I'm going to retweet this. Okay, Dogfather, I want you to kind of talk about the Dot Friends side of things because you know, you obviously partnered with Orbit and y'all came up with this idea. How has that been going so far? Is it kind of where you expected it to be, and what are the future plans for Dot Friends?
Hey guys, do you hear me okay?
Doing well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so thanks for having me up. Yeah, the Friends idea, man, that's so hard to know what you should expect. So I'm pretty happy. So we are having a great partner with the Orbit team. So they are really active shipping you know, new features. So now we have a few cool things on the website. So if you click into the Friendsverse, you see your address, you see all your connections, you see the connections of your connections. So that's really exciting. And now we have the OG and sub 100 passes with all the utility in the future. And that's exactly where we want to grow. I mean, we want to be the largest social network on Bitcoin using Ordinal technology. And yeah, at the end, it's up to the community whether they want to join, whether they spend the $1 to deploy the Friends ID or not. So it's all in your hands. I welcome everyone. I think soulbound tokens may become your digital identity in the Bitcoin and Ordinal space. And yeah, we welcome everyone. I mean, we have use cases ranging from cheaper DeFi loans in the future to maybe having higher chances of receiving, you know, a whitelist spot in an expected drop because you show you have a high reputation, and all kinds of further utilities like play to earn and stuff like that. So yeah, join the network. Just invest the 2 minutes you need to inscribe your Friends ID. You can go to my pinned post and just try it out, see who's there. So we have, you know, people from Ordinally, Franken. We have basically everyone here on stage in there. So it's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to where we are end of next year. So we think about in halving cycles. We don't think about like in 2 weeks this will fly. This is not the BRC20 mint or a Runen mint where people jump into that and then you have 10,000 of people in there. This is a slowly growing network thing, but once the network is big enough, the network effects will kick in and they may be really worth taking the 5 minutes or 2 minutes to deploy.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like the infrastructure just, you know, is still being built out. And as Dogfather said, I'm on Dot Friends. I just want to be ready for whenever it does, you know, get to that point of scale and usability. So I think it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and set that up. One last question for Orbit. So the play to earn game can you talk about the concept that you have for that? Or do you want to, are you trying to hold that off for now?
I mean, we'll hold that off for now. We'll just get done with the airdrop and the free mint first, and then we shall probably have like a launch, and then probably we'll come to your space again and probably, you know, explain it in depth over there, so that, you know, more and more people just relate to actually what the entire concept is and how you can possibly earn on Bitcoin, right? So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your information. I know that you're heavily involved with, like, you know, these IRL events. So we'll keep an eye out on Orbit and Dot Friends, and what you guys have building there. So we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. This next guest, I'm excited to hear about. Which I'm excited to hear about all the guests up here, but this one is pretty new to the space. So ToshiBet, if you don't mind explaining how your platform works. Obviously, it's a betting platform. I was on the website earlier and saw that there was a couple different options like roulette and stuff like that. But if you could break down like what you can bet and just the dynamics of everything, if you don't mind.
Yeah, hi. So the platform is the first casino to accept ordinals as a form of deposit. We also accept BTC. At the moment, it is just roulette with loot boxes coming next week. And then we have leverage trading. We're introducing 2000x leverage trading. We actually haven't announced that yet, but yeah. So in a couple of weeks, leverage trading is coming in. And then we're going to do sports betting after Christmas as well. And then just try and keep it as ordinal centered as possible. Obviously in line with the growth. But yeah, so at the moment, just BTC and ordinal deposits. We have a lot of requests for ETH at the moment. But so right now, we're not really looking at expanding into any other currencies. So sticking with Bitcoin, we think it could. So we're actually running a promotion at the moment. We're accepting all ordinal rug projects and giving as form of deposit as well. So we'll give the mint price on if you've been rugged before. Just come to the Discord, open a ticket, and we'll sort it for you.
Gotcha. So you mentioned leverage, and that's interesting because I imagine leverage is pretty complicated. So are you guys using like layer 2 technology or roll-up technology to accomplish this, or how are you guys going about that?
Yeah, one of our founders has I don't know if I can say the company, but one of the founders owns a leverage trading platform already. And we're just going to implement that onto our site. So basically just changing the UI. So he's been doing this for like 5 years now. So we saw that Rollbit were doing 1000x. So we thought, fuck it, why don't we do 2000x? So yeah, so just using his technology. He has a huge platform. I think if I said the name, you'd probably know it, but I don't think at the moment he's willing to be doxxed or anything, so I can't really say it.
Gotcha. Okay, so the leverage, is it gonna? You said ordinal, so are you include BRC20s are considered ordinals as well? So are you including those type of tokens, or are you just gonna only have like the NFT side of things?
Do you mean the actual trading, like what you'd be trading?
Yeah, or are you saying more?
No, it'd be more so like Bitcoin and ETH, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay, Bitcoin leverage. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then it's fun. It's cool. I don't know if you've been on Rollbit at all. They have like the 1000x on there. So it's just a chart. It's quite a simple game, but it's hard to do the back end for sure. It's complicated. But yeah, so that's basically, we just have a long roadmap at the moment. Like we've only just started. We're working with some communities now. So over the next couple of weeks, hopefully you guys will see some posts in the communities. We were kind of waiting for the loot boxes to be ready before we started that campaign. So yeah, I mean, we're super early in. Hopefully it continues and everything goes well. But yeah, so we're just accepting the ordinal deposits and BTC. And as I said, we're not sure if we're ever going to introduce other currencies, but it could be an option that we look at. But right now, we're trying to stay as ordinal centered as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Definitely keep an eye out on that and see how that develops. Does anybody have any questions for ToshiBet? If you have any questions, you're in the audience, not on stage, just ask to be pulled up. We'll pull you up. But seems like no one has any questions. We'll definitely keep an eye out on it. I always think the gambling side, the betting side is interesting because they're
About those rugs on ordinals, I don't know. Is there any rugs on ordinals?
D-gods.
Okay, we discussed that yesterday. But real rugs, people
Yeah.
collection that, yeah, I don't know. I'm lucky to not be affected by them, actually. And I want to call out. I will pin a tweet, and if anyone wants to try ToshBet, use my code, receive free money.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
No problem.
There's actually an ordinal collection called Bitcoin rugs, by the way. But yeah. So awesome. We appreciate the information, ToshBet. We'll check out the platform and excited to see how everything plays out. We appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. We'll speak again soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Next up is Pixel Quote. Pixel Quote. If you don't mind, the stage is yours. If you could break down what your project is about and just kind of introduce yourself to the community.
Hi, GM everyone. Andrew here. First of all, thanks, Kimi, Shizi, and Yagobi for the opportunity to be on the space to explain about our project. First of all, myself, I'm glad to be among all the builders here. For myself, I look at myself as more like an investor and creators rather than a builders. To me, builders are those who build the platform like marketplace, like a exchange, and also the infrastructure in the Ordinals ecosystem. For me, actually, I started in crypto since 2017, and then I've been in the NFT space in 2020 as a collector. I collected many PFP projects and also virtual land since early stage like Somnium Space, CryptoVoxer, Sandbox, Xstate. When we before Ordinals, actually myself is I have a production house which I provide services, creative services for corporate client, creative multimedia services. So I use the talent that I have. I created another sister company, which is an NFT studio. So we experiment a few projects, small project in the Cardano space, Ethereum space. And when we come to know about Ordinals, actually before that, we already heard someone talk about the NFT is actually not that immutable because the images can be changed because it is only point to the IPFS. I first heard about this point from Richard Hacks, the Hacks founder. So when I made Ordinals, straight away I understand what it is. So I got into Bitcoin is because I love financial sovereignty, and also I think money should be free to transact. So the same concept apply to art. I think for human, general consensus other than money, transact or money, and then the will to seek for religion. The third one Next, they seek for religion. And third, they will go and explore art. That's why you see all the ancient cave, they're scribbling on the cave, on the wall. So this is how I see ordinals actually. So what we are doing now, for me or myself, I think is pretty meaningful. The difference is this time we are in a digital space. And the more special thing is it's not the centralized digital space, which it can be take it away in one click. It can be banned, it can be censored. We are building a digital space which cannot be censored. And this is doable in Bitcoin. So that's why when we see ordinals in January and February, we went ahead to learn. And then luckily we met someone in Discord. That person is ordinally. At first, we don't know who he is. We do not know his background. It's just a random person. So he's trying to look for someone to see whether interested in his field of his self-made art in ordinals. So I just DM him and ask for, hey, want to like my past, how I collect NFT in the Ethereum space, Cardano. Same thing, I asked him, how can I collect this sub 10K? And then only I knew that he helped people to inscribe stuff. I think one of them is Billy. So for our project, Pixel Code could be the maybe third or fourth project that he sees to inscribe. Our project, Pixel Code NFT, you might be curious why we still remain the word NFT should be ordinals or artifact, right? So at the early stage, you were thinking, will there anyone understand what is artifacts and ordinals? That's why we remain the word NFT there at the beginning. Now we were thinking whether we want to change to ordinals or artifact, but there's some history story. So due to this reason, we remain this word NFT till now. So continue the story with small collection, which is suitable to inscribe in Bitcoin. If the collection is too big, it's impossible because it will be very expensive. So I still remember when Ordinally helped us to inscribe, he tend to wait for the time that is 2 set, 3 set, and then inscribe the first batch, and then we wait. But the fee going from 5 set to 10 set, and then I was telling him we cannot wait. I think we need to proceed before it get over 100K because our collection have about 500. This is quite meaningful to me because my background is I specialize in video production work. So coincidentally, after it hit 100K, and then ordinarily he did analysis, find out that sub 100K, most of it is images. Only 135 piece of inscription is MP4 videos, and 130 piece of MP4 videos is Pixel Code. And another unique point of Pixel Code is all our artwork, every piece of it is manual illustrated digitally. we use the pad to illustrate by 5 different artists. Those artists were my company colleagues, and each of it is with a unique code. Why do we come of this idea is because at the post NFT stage, means the before the bear market comes, on the Ethereum side, Cardano side, Solana side, you tend to see quite a lot of starting to emerge quite a lot of project collection which convey the message of the not very good message, such as for some people maybe they are okay, but for me I see a lot of like Illuminati messages. Okay, so I know some of you might will laugh, but for me I study some of the incident around the world, so I know the language. So from here we discuss internally, why not we create something positive with message. That's why we have this idea pixel code, means pixel art with a unique code. Each of the art is come with either a positive word, encouraging word, or some word that reflect the current status quo. Yeah. Yeah, I see someone raising hand. I should I stop here for at the moment?
Well, yeah, let's pause a little bit because I think some people have some questions. I was actually going on it, to be honest with you. I was going through all your inscriptions because now these are really early. You know, you're talking about 35,000 through 78,000. How many total MP4s did Ordinally say there are total in the first 100,000 inscription?
First 100,000 inscription, there's only 135
MP4 total.
MP4 videos, yes, and no one I mean no one seems to care. At the same time, you can see that I think Leonidas, there's one time he make a post and mention about top 10 metas in Ordinals, and one of it is file types. At that time, rare sets haven't. I mean, there's not so many things come out yet, so I'm not sure why nobody talk about file types yet. But this is one of the key that I think people overlook. So my point is, now everybody is looking at rare sets, but under 100K, there's not much. At that time, the rare set we're talking about is we look for sets 2009. 2009 sets. That one is like old sets, you know. Other than that, there's maybe some rarity in the artwork, some trade. So I think the file type rarity in file types is one of the key that if you guys look for some art in sub 100K, other than original art, you can also look for the rare file types. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Gonna run over to Magic Eden. No, I'm just kidding. Cool. All right. That's actually really interesting. I honestly didn't think about that. Definitely could see that being one of the metas whenever things get crazy. But yeah, I want to, before you say anything, Pixel Quo, I want to let Knox. He has a question. He has his hand up. Go ahead, Knox.
Hey, morning, guys. I'm just kind of absorbing all the cool people up here, but dude, Pixel Quote, that is so fucking cool, and I don't know why people are not paying more attention to it. You are so right. Like what, you're 35,000, like that's even before when we hit Cyber Raider. So that, and like that, I feel like was like early as fuck, man. It's crazy. And to have, like, how many MP4s are even on like Ordinals, like out of all 35 million? Like, probably not many.
35 million. Now 34 million is text inscription. 1.2 million is images. 300,000 is JSON and application file. And about 1,630 is MP4 videos. I don't know why people not inscribing MP4 videos. Perhaps it's a bit expensive, or they do not know how to compress the file. I'm still like kind of shocked that it's still very less. Yeah.
Well, you would imagine that it would be expensive. Like, how big are the files that you inscribed so early on? Like, I mean, I don't know. That's just like so ahead of the game. I feel like to have MP4s. I mean, I haven't seen what yours look like, but I imagine it sounds like you have experience with it, that you would be able to. You've learned how to like compress them in a way that they still look good.
It was about one megabyte. About more than 2 megabyte, and then we compressed to about 20 kilobytes. 20 kilobytes. Yep.
They did such a good job. I mean, they look like GIFs. Like, I'm looking at it right now. So they compressed it to the point to where, I mean, it shows up like a GIF or GIF, however you say that. But
it was animated videos, and MP4 videos format is pretty common among the video production industry. So that is why we use MP4 videos. When we inscribe, we do not know this is so rare. We only discover it after some time. And when we inscribe, I still remember Ordinally say the Ordinals Explorer do not support the viewing of MP4 videos, only support images. So do you want to risk to inscribe it? So we think for a little bit, then we say, go ahead, go ahead. We don't care. Just inscribe it. We see how does it goes. Luckily, after a few days, we able to view it in Ordinals Explorer. Yeah.
awesome. Well, man, this is really cool. I love this because this is kind of like, I do agree with you. Like, you can tell the early inscriptions when ordinals first started because of, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of it's the quality because of the size of the file that you had to work with. As recursion came along and different ways to compress, it got better. But I think that it's gonna play out sort of like how, sports cards were, or collectibles that were older. They look horrible when you compare them to today's production, but that's the value in them, is the history behind it. And I think that's how these early inscriptions are going to play out as well. That's just my opinion, though.
Yes. Thanks for bring out this point. From what I see, digital collectibles, mainly people looking for two things. One is historical provenance. Second is utility. The good thing with ordinals is it has the relation with time. So once you miss the time frame, the window, what is past is past. It can never go back. But utility, you can still have time to build it slowly. So this is what I see. This is one of my opinion. Yep.
Awesome. Go ahead, Knox.
Dude, I like totally agree with you, Gobi. I think that something that was said a lot when I don't know, we were still inscribing around like 100K, was that you think about the collections on ETH, and you think about, like, just in general, like something like Other Side, for example, gets tons of volume and interest, etc. I would not be surprised if eventually, once ordinals kind of take off a little more, that we see people scouring through like sub 100K looking for collectibles or interesting collections, like pixel quotes. So I don't think this is like actually super cool. I didn't know about your collection before pixel quote, but to have MP4s that early is really. I'm just looking at them now as well. They're really cool. So great work, guys. Honestly.
Awesome. Well, Pixel Quote, we appreciate your time up here, and I'm definitely gonna. Well, it looks like Ordbit is raising his hand. Go ahead, Ordbit.
Yeah, so we just wanted to add on to this that we got the opportunity to meet Pixel Code in Singapore at the Ordinal Summit, and it was like pretty good. We had like a good conversation, and I mean, yeah, I completely agree. Like, more people should know about like what they've done. So a big shout out to Pixel Code, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Awesome. Appreciate your input there. Yeah, I mean, and that's why I actually, Shizzy and I are planning on going to these in real life events, because you can really connect there, right? And we're just glad to have Pixel Quote up for today's panel, and that's one thing that Ordinal Revolution podcast is about, is giving people a platform to be able to talk about what they've built, what they've created, what they're about, and whenever they maybe not have had any platform at all, really, or just little exposure. So, Bongo, what's up?
GM, everyone. Are these in the market already, or are they out there?
Yeah, they're on Magic Eden. If you go to Magic Eden and just search Pixel Quote NFT, they're up there. All right, awesome. Yeah, so we appreciate your time, Pixel Quote. I want to pass it over to Knox really quick, and then we're gonna probably finish this up with Bitcoin Frog vibes. So Knox, what is going on, brother? We had you on the podcast. Great conversation. Loved it. Want to do it again. But you've been busy, obviously, with your your Cursed Raiders drop. Love what you guys are doing for the space and the people that have given back to the space. You guys are giving back to them. So if you can explain what that's about and how that Cursed Raider whole situation's going.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, seems like we're getting a little more hype rolling is all. Yeah, no, we're just we're giving away or airdropping most of the collection. Anyone who holds well, we're airdropping all of it, but we're giving it away to people who don't hold, like we're not holders on top of it as well. But essentially, anyone who holds 2 Hell Raiders and 1 Cyber Raider, they get automatically the snapshot will be tomorrow, and we're going to be airdropping them on Halloween. And then I've been handpicking individual people to receive the rest of them. So I've got a huge list going. So we're like 150 that we're giving away. And Bongo, I just saw your DM. I already have your address, dude.
You are never too sure. You always have to double check,
People hear airdrop, they're like, I gotta get him. Yeah, no. So I still have spots to pick. Still looking for a few more people before the 31st. I'll be probably looking right up until the airdrop date. So as long as you show your interest and actually like genuine interest, not like fake engagement farming, or like I don't know. We've all seen it before where people are like, oh my god, like you are. I like there's just so much fake the stay hydrated and check your posture, that BS. So I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for people who are actually interested in the art, interested in ordinals in general, and want to actually engage with our community in a meaningful way. So yeah, still have some spots to give away for sure. I know a lot of the people on stage here are getting them, but yeah, no, super hyped. It's the only, to my knowledge, the only Curse collection that's entirely on block 666 sats. For those who don't know, Curse are going to be turned off soon, so these are going to be incredibly collectible. We are the only, I believe, 2-digit 666 palindrome on Cursed as well. So that's our 1 of 1 Marrow, which has that as well. That will not be part of the airdrop. We'll be doing that in a separate way. That's also interesting. We'll announce that shortly after as well. But yeah, super hyped. Community super hyped, and we're just working away here.
Awesome. Appreciate the update, Knox. You're doing great stuff, man. If you're a new, Ordinal builder in the space or founder, Knox is definitely someone to look up to in terms of an example of how to run a community. There's several in this Ordinal space, but appreciate it, brother. Moral, you got your hand up. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? First of all, thanks for bringing me up here. I appreciate you guys very much. Just to say something to Knox, you have to stay hydrated. You just have to.
And I gotta check my posture, dude. Oh God.
And touch some grass.
Yeah, touch some grass.
Yeah, staying hydrated. I feel like that's is that like an inside joke thing? Maybe I'm.
Jacoby, were you not around for the 2021 grind fest that was everyone going into discords and just spewing BS for hours to try and get allowless spots?
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
A lot of disingenuous interactions, I'd say, and it just became a meme. Pretty funny stuff.
Yep. Probably, definitely, we'll see something like that. I expect once things get ramped up really good here. All right. Well, let's move on to Bitcoin Frogs vibes. So this is a derivative project off of the Bitcoin Frogs. I actually saw this art trickle through Ord.io. I want to say months ago, unless I was looking at something different. But could you speak on the art and why you decided to wait to drop this project, and maybe just explain the project in general to the community?
GM, can you hear me, guys?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. Yo, Shishi, yo, Jagobi, Kimi Boy, Knox, Moral, everyone on the panel, Orbit, thanks for having me here. Yes, thank you. We started our project a couple months ago. We came with this idea of having this, what we call soulmate tribute to this collection, which is Bitcoin Frogs, that is an icon to all Ordinals community. So we wanted to do something remarkable. So we came with this art inspired really by fans. This is something made with soul. So we wanted to do something really different. So we thought of keep on educating about Bitcoin philosophy, which is free and open for everyone. So we wanted something like that, and we came about with inscribing all our ordinals on block 78, which is a reference to Hal Finney. We all here now. I see a lot of experts here that we aim to keep on educating and onboarding people to ordinals, and which better with this iconic collection. So as Hal Finney make a breaking moment for Bitcoin mining, the first block done by any other different by Satoshi himself. We wanted to be here, remember that, and also this fan art to the ribbit, to this iconic collection, to this great iconic collection. So this is a good moment. This is very special time to be here with you in this space. So this is Halloween. Happy Halloween for everyone. And also, I heard that it's also a Bitcoin white paper birthday. So this is beautiful moment happening. Bitcoin gaining all traction, going up. All ETFs about to be live. So this is great moment, and we just want everyone here to enjoy and be fun and be entertained. We aim to create a strong community of ordinal lovers, but everyone who supports each other and spread love all across the Bitcoin chain and all crypto world. This is what it's almost about. It's just about good vibes and spreading love. Our goal is to be more than just a fun and solid community. We want to start a movement that spreads this word all across the Web3, and you will find that love is the answer. This is most what our project is about, guys. So everyone is welcome to join. We just opened our Discord a couple days ago. We're still building it. We're really early. Our collection is gonna be only 111 ordinals, so it's a soul tribute. We want to do something special, and we are airdropping right now our OGs. We continue to make airdrops, so everyone is welcome. And in the next days, we'll be announcing the next waves. We're doing waves. As you can see, if you go to marketplaces, our first wave is already at Magic Eden. We will be submitting and indexing in other marketplaces as well shortly. But well, that's all for the moment, guys. Thanks for having me. Big love to everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Appreciate you breaking that down for us. You know, I actually do really love the art in this derivative. Nothing against the other Bitcoin Frog derivatives that dropped right after, but like the initial one, the naked ones, that was a misprint. So that I don't know if I really count that. But it, you know, the flip frogs and stuff. This is actually like, you know, someone took their time in the art and changed it and stuff. So this is what I like to see with derivatives, but that's just my taste. So, with that being said, I appreciate you. Guys, check out the collection. It is on Magic Eden. There's only 25 out there right now, but like they said, he said 111 is the total supply there. But yeah. So with that being said, I think we got Moral. Was there any updates that you have for Counterfeit at all?
I don't know if you were there on our space, but they the new card 17 just dropped, so they're going to be doing that. And then I believe that's it for now. Nothing on identities yet for the last batch. I believe they're kind of just working towards setting up their minting platform and stuff like that. More details on all that stuff will be released as time goes on, but we're cooking in the background. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Appreciate that update. Man, I just love all the builders in the space, you know, and I know that sounds cliche because we say that every Saturday, but this is a space dedicated to builders, you know, and we get to see firsthand, not just with this space, but on our show, on our YouTube podcast. I mean, we interview so many builders, artists, and influential people in the ordinal space. And, you know, I've been in, you know, DeFi since DeFi summer. I've been messing with crypto since 2013, believe it or not. But like, I wasn't there like whenever Ethereum first, like the infrastructure was built out. So I can't compare to that. But what I can compare is to my other experiences. And this is the best experience I've had personally. And I hope it stays this way. I know that like as the space grows and more money flows in, that things might change. But always reminded that from Shizzy that look to your left and right whenever things are good, because those are the true OGs. All these OG passes, they're called OG passes for a reason, because we're all the OGs. So just remember that. Shizzy? Oh, I think he might be busy, but okay, cool. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up because we're getting close to. We're actually at that time. Time is up, but we just want to thank all of y'all for showing up every Saturday morning. The support is amazing. I want to thank all the speakers up here: Knox, Robin from Liquidity, Moral, Counterfeit Culture, Orbit, Dot Friends, Dogfather, Dot Friends, Bitfrog Vibes, Bongo, Pixel Quote. You know, all the people in the audience. You guys are the reason why that we're doing this every Saturday, obviously for the builders as well. Rufus out there, 9.bitmap. And then just keep your eyes and ears open, because there's people that were community members that are building. They become builders, and we all support each other. Shout out to KT Investments. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We appreciate and love all of y'all. Kimmy, do you have any last words or anything?
I should pull up the winner of OG Pass, but just give me a second, because only 2 entries is on Twitter Picker, so I have to find some other platform. Give me a minute, please.
Okay. So while Kimmy is getting that ready, we can kind of so basically what he's doing is staying here so he can basically get this raffle going. Someone's gonna be winning an OG pass for Ordbit. What that does is that gets you entry into all of the events that Ordbit lets you know that they're a part of, right? Possibly he even said some maybe some housing or whatever, if that's possible, but definitely some other benefits as well. Go ahead, Bongo.
I hope I'm the winner. Am I participating?
You are now. Add Bongo to that list.
You have to retweet the tweet.
Just retweet the space right now. Even
All
though
right.
people
Just so you know, you're messing with my algo because I just post my GM, and you shouldn't be retweeting after a post. I have to wait like 3 hours, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I just did it, so we'll see.
Okay, so with that being said, Bongo, give us some alpha on that, because I think everybody could probably use some alpha on how to get your algo optimized.
Just so it's clear, I'm probably talking out of my ass, but the way I utilize Twitter right now, it's 3 to 4 posts a day, and then replying as much as you can. If they are not like verified accounts and they look sketchy, do not reply to them. Do not follow too many random people, and try to be effective with your posts. We kind of went from a we it was Twitter. The Twitter game was quantity over quality, and now it seems to be quality over quantity, but you still have to nail the replies. So if you post a GM in the morning, you hammer that, you reply to as much people as you can, and then you go to the timeline and you do some additional DMs. The GMs are kind of like the backbone of the Web3 engagement. So I recommend everyone to participate in that if you're trying to grow your account. I mean, there's people that only show up to GM in here. They get 400 likes, 400 replies, and they do that every day just to have something going on for them. And then use the correct keywords during the day, right? Like if you are in this community, make sure you talk about ordinals on a daily by or like every other day basis, and Bitcoin, and just be aware of the culture and what's happening out there, and capitalize on the memes. There's always the Udis and Leonidas tweeting fun stuff, and you can always extract memes out of that, or there's always going on in the space. You have to be aware, and just grab those opportunities whenever they present themselves, and try to any thoughts that you want to share, or any particular topic you are interested in talking about, just draft some tweets, have them in your disposal, and put them out whenever you can. Whenever something comes to mind, try to draft that, so you always have like bullets if in case you need to put something out and you're busy, or anything along those lines. Consistency is the most important thing.
That's some great alpha right there. So I probably shouldn't be retweeting like 6 times in 10 minutes, right?
Well, it depends. It depends on what are you trying to achieve. Like someone like Thread Guy, I don't know if you guys know him, but he's an influencer here on Twitter, 100K followers. Whenever someone is talking about him, he retweet the content. It doesn't matter if it doesn't help the algorithm, because he's trying to foster that community, right? Like, he has an audience. He's just trying to connect with more people and give back to the people that are giving to him. And so that's one approach. The other one, it's more like you are pretending to be cool or anything along those lines, and you're keeping your timeline super clean and effective, and you just want to put your thoughts and ideas and art, whatever it is, out there, which is what most people do. So there's not a right or wrong answer here. It's just a trade-off. If you want to focus on the niche, the community, retweeting probably does more for you, but your messaging become less effective, I guess.
Gotcha, man. That's some gold information right there. Ordbit, you raised your hand. Did you have a question?
Yeah, hi. Not a question per se, but I just wanted to put there out one more time about the benefits of all these OG and sub-100 passes, right? So you'll get exclusive access to Orbit products that are going to come, and sooner you're going to see the first ever play to earn on Bitcoin, and people with OG passes will get early access, and they can just start their earnings right away. And the IRL events that are going to happen worldwide soon, it'll be like your entry ticket to that as well. And future airdrops and whitelists for projects that launch on Orbit, all those will also be in the loop. So yeah, that's all about it, guys.
Awesome, you heard it there. All those good benefits are come with the OG pass, so consider that. Lazy, what's up?
What's up, Sheezy and Yagobi and Kimi? I just wanted to let you guys know I listen every Saturday in the morning. I just don't say nothing, but I'm always listening. And let me just give a quick shout out to Bongo, Knox, and G Laz, a few Dogfighter, Laz. The list goes on and on. But yeah, I listen every morning, and it's amazing to watch you guys literally start from I think I was the first person, and then to watch you guys grow into this. I mean, this is a platform now. So, man, I think last week I looked into the audience, and that's the one with Big God, and I think Wales. I think I saw over 200 listeners, and I was just like, wow, like it's crazy what everybody always says be consistent, or consistency is key. And man, you guys have been consistent. I mean, consistent now for I don't know how many months, but my God, I see you doing hard work, and keep going, keep pushing.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You were definitely one of our first interviews once we switched over to the Ordinal Revolution brand, and that definitely holds close to us because it's the beginning building blocks time of when we were building our brand. But yeah, man, like you and I were talking in the DMs a little bit not long ago, like I think yesterday, and that could also fit into kind of what Bongo was saying with the GMs. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Right. Okay. So I was doing well, it's not really a survey, but I noticed when I normally say GM to everyone on Twitter, like I might get a response, I might not get a response, but I noticed that if I say the GM or if I attach a JPEG to that GM, like it actually like brings or like it breeds a deeper conversation or maybe on a neurological level that people actually interact more with that GM. So I just figured that a way for us to like just take our minds off the bull run or the BTF or whatever it is, or even what is it, floor prices. If we just talk about just like get into the vibes of ordinals, like if I send anyone a GM or you guys could even do the challenge to like you send somebody a GM with a JPEG, like give them a few maybe a day 24 hours, a couple hours for them to actually respond back with another creative JPEG, like not just, I mean, we could all just say GM and keep moving, but I just feel like if I give you a creative JPEG or a fun way to say JPEG, especially we have Halloween coming up, you could actually, get creative too and give me another fun way to say, like GM with a JPEG and then just keep the vibes going that way. Like, like we could just, oh, get creative. I noticed too, like at first I started saying GM, my own little creative way. And then I noticed that on Twitter, like there's some really great talented artists out there. Like I'm seeing some all sorts of arts, and I'm going, wow, like I would have never found this art if I didn't, go by this process of fame GM with a JPEG. So that's just my 2 cents. So if you want to participate in this challenge, if I see a GM with you with a JPEG, please, just respond back in maybe the next 24 hours with a fellow creative JPEG. It could be any. It doesn't have to be your own. Just make it creative, make it fun, and just play it forward.
Yeah, that definitely is interesting. That's something that could go viral within the Ordinal community if you incorporate the GM into the image and then get that going. Bongo, what's up?
Yeah, to his point, in from the engagement point of view, it's actually pretty effective to have the same GM every day, like the same. Always attach a picture to it. It performs better. But if you are consistent and you put the same shit every day, it works out pretty well. And honestly, one more thing, be intentional. Just like when you're doing customer service and you're on the other line of the phone, you're trying to smile just to because you want to put that energy out there. Do the same when you are sending the GMs. Like I generally have a good morning every fucking day because I say it so many times that I have to. There's no other way around. So be intentional, put your heart and soul into it somehow, some way. People get that feeling and just fucking crush it.
I love that. Positive affirmations via GM. It's happening, man. This space turned into a Twitter tutorial, man, on how to grow your following. I love it. See, that's why you got to come every Saturday morning. You might miss out on.
And I know the Toshio always does some creative GMs too. His whales, he does some amazing GMs with his whales. I don't know how he's doing it, but you know, 86 I believe also does some amazing GMs. Also, he's not here, but some of the listeners have been doing some crazy JPEG GMs. And if you could just keep it going, like just keep the vibes going. Whenever the bull run gets here, and just keep the vibes going from now. For now.
Shout out to Tosio. Yeah, I mean him and his team too. Or they're putting out like all this creative like art in terms of like comic book strips. I know animation's coming, so shout out to Tosio. Kimi, are we still waiting, or do you need more time?
Yeah, it's okay. I posted it. It's Mr. P, 75 based. I posted it. I don't know. Is he
Mr.
here?
P? Mr. P.
Mr. P. Request to speak if you're here.
Let's see. Request to speak if you're here. If he's not here, then what? He retweeted the thing, right? The space?
Yeah. I was withdrawing with retweets of the space.
Okay, so then he wins no matter what then. Okay. Well, Mr. P, congratulations. Oh, Mr. P. Mr. P's on stage.
He took everything away from me.
And you even retweeted it and put your algorithm at risk.
Yeah, I just removed the retweet.
Hello, everybody.
Congratulations, Mr. P. You are a winner of an Orbit OG pass.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem. Well, with that being said, congratulations, Mr. P. And there you go. I want to thank everybody. It's been an amazing space. Definitely check us out, Ordinal Revolution podcast on YouTube. Check out all these amazing builders, all these community members. Every single one of you guys matter. Just remember that, because we're all here at this stage of where Ordinals is. And man, just like Bitcoin Frog Vibe said, we're here for the love and vibes. And yeah, so you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and we will check y'all next week. Peace.
No one wants to go.
Shh, we're engagement farming.
Yeah. Yeah, press that like. I don't know what.
You
where
scared the
is it?
shit out of me. I thought the space was closed already.
Yeah, he should close it, but I don't know. He's having some problems. It will be closed when he disconnect. So see you next week. Have a good time. Also, if you want another giveaways on my account for Ordinal ticket, it will brings you more airdrops and stuff like that. There's Discord link also, so you can check it out. And that's it. Have a good weekend. Bye.